Hello Internet, hello YouTube. This is Nate. You can also call me Nathan, but please never call me Nathaniel. And I thought I would do an off-stream playthrough of the last daily challenge that should happen before the patch gets released. And in fact, the patch will get released sometime while this challenge is active. You see there's only 2 submitted scores right now, both very early deaths. So we're going to give it a shot. I like to try to get them in early because I don't necessarily like the information I get from the early scores indicating whether it's an easy or a difficult challenge. I like to be able to jump in and kind of figure it out on my own. But let's look at what we have here. We have Melting Remnant. We have Awoken, and then the 3 mutators are Cheap Trick, Permadeath, and Moth Magic, so definitely all ones we've seen before. What do I think about this? Well, Moth Magic's really interesting. There's not a lot of damage spells. Let me think, what do we have here? We have Glimmer in Awoken, we have Bramble Lash in Awoken. Probably Bramble Lash doesn't make a lot of sense given that we're starting with the Melting Remnant champion, but who knows. Apart from that, that should be about all of the damage spells there. And then on Melting Remnant side, we have the AoE spell. I can't remember what it's called. The AoE spell that does damage based on the number of deaths you've had. And then the big burst spell. Also can't think of what it's called right now. So may not be a lot of opportunity to do damage and make use of this Moth Magic. Permadeath definitely makes Melting Remnant a little bit more challenging unless we can get some endless units very early. And then spells costing 1 less is actually quite good. That means things like, reforms are going to be free. The restores are going to be free. If we get something like Crushing Demise, that will be free. Not a lot of high-cost spells here. There's a handful of them in Awoken that are pretty good. Awake and Cycle of Life. But anyways, at any rate, it seems interesting. So what we probably want to avoid is anything where we are going to have a unit die unless we have Endless on it. But let's see what we start with. So Memories of the Melted is pretty bad unless we have Endless units. So getting something like an early Votivary could be really useful to take advantage of Memories of the Melted. The other thing with Memories of the Melted is really good when you have high cost stuff. And then unless we get some X costs, I don't see a lot of value here. And even the X costs that we would get, the only one would be the Waxen Spike. And I don't know the Waxen Spike is going to be particularly good for us. One good thing is that we have the Purifying Cleanse that makes the Burnout Rector Flicker much more viable and can also keep some of our dregs alive. We don't lose them quite as easily. But who knows, maybe we don't even want dregs. We'll have to see how it goes. Let's see what artifact we get. 2 units gaining 30 is not great. It's not great in general. It's even worse when you consider that we're probably not going to take any tomb units because they die and then you don't get them back. The only thing that could potentially be good is something like getting a tomb unit, getting Intent on Death, and then taking advantage of the trigger and having it have a lot of health, but I don't see that really working for us. I think Hell's Banners is going to be better. It's also, to be fair, not great. The best might even be to just skip both. But we'll take Hell's Banners. There are some cases where it will be useful. And we're really looking for Burn Bright. We got Burn Bright. That will help us get through Daedalus. What we need to find between now and Fell is a way to scale up the damage. We're totally fine taking early trials. Burn Bright is just such a strong standalone unit that I'm not very concerned. At least for these early fights. And even that alone, just getting 2 units out is going to be more than enough. We already got into Burnout Extension. Not really worried at all. The real question is, how important do we feel like these dregs are? Do we need to keep the dregs? I'm in the current feeling that they're not so important. And I definitely would like to get the collector. Maybe we do a half measure. We let one drag die. We keep the... I guess could have done some damage there. We'll keep one drag for now. Honestly doesn't really matter. This thing's going to die no matter what. We do want to make sure it doesn't reach the pyre. But, as I said, doesn't really matter. Let's play it like this. We can let him die. Put this train steward up top is fine. Let's just get some regen on our Rector Flicker. And that should be more than enough to kill the boss, and it is. We even get Purifying Cleanse, which is great. And we can play Members of the Melted for no reason at all. So, very good early fight. We get a 4-1 kill. About all we can hope for. So we get the Tomb unit, but we still have the issue that currently we can't really play it. It just dies right away. And the draft is the same issue. Unless we have a way to get endless, like if we get the artifact which makes Waxers endless, or if we can upgrade a unit with endless. We're definitely not going to go Merchant of Magic. We are going to go for the Awoken Banner Merchant of Steel for multiple reasons. One being that the Awoken Banner is going to give us a unit that likely doesn't burn out or have harvest triggers. And Merchant of Steel because we want to upgrade that unit immediately. So with that in mind, getting another Purifying Cleanse is a way to extend Rector Flicker's time with us. I don't know how to say that any other way. So I think that's probably okay. Wildwood Sap on him is also good. That could be a way that we just make him really strong. And of these units here, Wickless Tycoon isn't terrible if you consider him as a backup for our Rector Flicker. And then Awoken Hollow, so he just is there to gain coins from the deaths dealt by our Rector Flicker. Awoken Hollow is also pretty good as a tank, but I think it's very likely that we end up using Rector Flicker as the tank. So I think with this, let's take the Wickless Tycoon for now. We can make him a little bit beefier, ideally with a large stone. And let's check out what unit upgrades we get first. Quick, okay, quick health and damage and health. The damage and health seem really good for the Harvest Tycoon. Let's see what we get out of the banner. Shattered Shell's actually pretty good. One of the things that we don't have yet is backline access. We have no AoE. We have no targeted damage. So getting something like the Shattered Shell, we can already immediately upgrade it with some damage and health. And we will want it to have quick because it will scale better. We don't have Sap Seraph. That's a huge help for us there. So this seems actually pretty good. I don't know that this will be good enough for all the fights, but to start, it seems excellent. We will get some extra health onto the Harvest Tycoon. So the Harvest Tycoon is kind of our backup right now. Ooh, Spikes makes this pretty tricky. Can we heal enough to survive the spikes? It might just mean putting the Shattered Shell on a second floor instead. And then the question is, does our Wickless Tycoon have enough health? I think with 45 health, he should be fine. We're going to be able to kill the boss in 3 hits. 4 hits, max, no, 3. 3 if you consider the Wickless Tycoon. Not quite. So it's going to be 4 hits if we can't Restoration Detonation. I think we're going to be okay here. So let's go with the spikes. Worst case scenario, we lose the Wickless Tycoon and we're out 25 coins and a unit draft. But I don't believe we're at risk of losing the Shattered Shell. And I don't think we can justify putting the Shattered Shell out on the first floor. Maybe what we do to make it even safer is we put the Shattered Shell here. We put a Train Steward behind. We can even put a Train Steward on the top floor. And then maybe we can reduce the risk a bit. Wickless Tycoon up here. Put a train steward there. We keep you nice and frosty. We can try to keep this train steward alive as much as possible. Do we care about the last 2 dregs? I don't think so. I think we want the spells in order to keep our other units alive more consistently. So here then, we can upgrade again with the train. So those 2 will kill the boss in 3 hits, assuming that we can get enough damage on him. Yeah, we can play this just to get rid of it. And this drag's not going to die either way. I don't really care if it stays in right now. And that's enough to kill the boss. We could also extend. We could add some regen to the train steward if we wanted. But we're totally fine here. So, second fight, bottom floor kill. We are slightly behind globs here, but otherwise doing really well. Wicklash is another good burnout extender to put onto our Rector Flicker. Yeah, that seems okay. And another Wildwood Sap also seems great. There is the direct damage. The only issue with the direct damage is that it knocks the enemies up. Same with Sting. And maybe there's a use for that, but they don't do enough damage, and we don't have enough good backup support for them that I think... I don't think we can risk it there. Let's see what unit we draft. Thorn Hollow's pretty good. And what would we want here? Getting a holdover on a restoration detonation is just a way to guarantee we have some healing every turn. We have no need for spell cost reduction. Let's save our coins. Let's see what we get from the concealed caverns. This is actually not terrible, but I think better for us would just be to increase capacity. Now we can fit the 3 main units on the bottom floor. That should be enough to carry us pretty far into the run, and then we can have the Awoken Hollow on a second floor. And with the amount of healing that we're getting, even the double explosions are not a huge risk. In fact, we don't have to worry about them at all because our Shattered Shell is quick. So now we just want to buff up the Rector Flicker. This guy's going to get out of control with damage very quickly. We want to put the Wickless Tycoon to gain gold from that. We might as well put out the Thorn Hollow just to get some incidental damage. Does mean we need to be a little bit careful, but even here you see we're already totally fine because of all the damage that we can do with Rector Flicker and the Shattered Shell. So none of them are at risk. We just extend his burnout. And question is, I really would like him to get out of range. So let's do it like this. Let's give you the Wildwood Sap, and then let's just buff your raw health so that you're not going to die from a single bomb. Yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to avoid. So I think that was the smart play there. We can even burst this guy down to reduce some damage. Yeah, Memories of the Melted's pretty worthless with this setup. Let's continue to extend Burnout and heal up Rector Flicker with regen. I think we're at the point now that getting rid of some of these other units is fine. I will keep one Train Steward for now, or I guess several Train Stewards. Math is hard. We're going to kill him. Let's keep the Dreg for later. And we're good. We get a floor 1 kill on Daedalus. See how that puts us compared to Globs. Puts us ahead of Globs. So we're making up ground here. Adaptive Mutation is interesting for the Thorned Hollow if you can remove Consume from it. Remove all burnout and debuff effects. That's interesting with a Frostbite, but honestly, we extend burnout so much I don't think there's a huge risk here. I actually don't know if any of these are going to be very valuable for us. We get so much healing, and we can even use that healing to do damage. Our Rector Flicker is going to get huge by the time he is at Burn Bright level 3. I don't think any of this is necessary. And with Seraph the Chaste, we aren't... I mean, the only thing is regen, right? Like, we are stacking some regen, but it's not really, like, the core mechanic. It's not like we're depending on regen in order to fight through these battles here. Tossing an Animus of Speed on the same floor as the Thorned Hollow doesn't seem terrible. I just wonder at what point do we need more units. But I think for now it's okay, and we definitely will go with card draw. We have capacity now. We have no problem playing out as many spells and units as we draw. So then the trick for us is just to focus on what? Do we need to remove anything? I would remove the Memories of the Melted is pretty bad. Maybe a Train Steward. Alternatively, we can get a free artifact and maybe a better remnant unit. In terms of unit upgrades, yeah, upgrading Wickless Tycoon seems okay. Upgrading the Thorned Hollow, upgrading the Animus of Speed. I mean, they're all good. But I think we'll have other opportunities. I'd rather take the coins now. This actually could be relevant. For sure, it's going to be more relevant than Improved Firebox. We do have some consume spells, right? We have the 2 of those. This actually has a purpose now. It can do 30 damage for 0. We don't need another Wickless unit. Yep, we're going to go all out on Burnout. 85-85 is a really strong unit. And we should be able to we should be fine with multi-strike. I mean, they do damage for sure, but with the Shattered Shell and the fact that we can just stack all this regen here, I think we're going to be just fine. Really would have liked to get what would be excellent is to get the artifact. I can't remember what it's called, but it gives you more what am I trying to say? It gives you more upgrades on your units. Would be fantastic. I can't remember the name of it right now though. They're both dead. Let's just make sure you're not going to die to the first enemy that makes it past. Seems okay. Let's stack some regen here. With 1 regen... you know what? We're actually at the point now where you're probably not going to die. We can use you just for 30 incidental damage. I think it's time we get rid of our last 2 dregs. Or last dreg. We only have the 1. Yeah, this is great. So we can do a little bit of damage there. We can continue to increase there. Add some health. Get some regen. And everything's looking a-okay for us right now. Continue to stack Burnout. Even get some more damage. Stack some more regen. Give you some more health. And we should be absolutely fine against this boss here. Yep. We have all the health. So I'm really liking this setup. This seems really strong. Puts us at almost, I mean, if you look at some of these scores, we're almost at the level that some players are at that point. We don't... okay. For our Woken Hollow, it's not terrible. Remnant Pact, actually, Engulf in Smoke. It's got to be the Engulfed in Smoke. If we can double stack that, ooh, and Pyre Shards. But, you know, Pyre Shards and Engulfed in Smoke are kind of anti-synergy. I think Awake is okay. We can -2 cost from it and make it free. And it's the unnerfed one, right? So we're on the live we're on the live branch right now. And with that, I think we do want spell upgrades, although an artifact would be really good. And we could buff up this Wickless Tycoon. Let's, what are we going to get later? We're probably going to go this route. So we'll be able to Unstable Vortex again. And, Then we get another Merchant of Trinkets. And then we end with a Merchant of Magic. I think we got to take the Merchant of Steel now. I don't think there's going to be another opportunity that we take. Spikes dealing extra damage is also really good. We didn't take any spikes, but it's going to be fantastic on him. I wonder if we switch that the Thorned Hollow is the main tank, but that, again, that's really anti-synergy with the stealth. Let's get rid of Train Stewards. But man, that guy gets 6 spike damage per heal, and that is not nothing. Let's give you some more health. Actually, you know what? Let's give you health. Keep you a little bit more survivable. I think I'm gonna reroll. Multi-strike is fantastic on you. I wonder now if we swap floors, because man, getting both of these guys on the same floor is just insanely strong with our Rector Flicker. And then just adding more health, I guess. And we can add a little bit more damage onto the Wickless Tycoon. I'm not 100% sure how we want to play this. It's, I'm not too worried about dying. I'm more like, are we going to... Oh, okay, this is interesting. This should be okay. Now, the one issue is going to be the stealth, but now we can stack our own stealth. Although we don't have a Merchant of Magic, so we didn't get, unfortunately, to... well, let's see. We'll get it about every other turn, because we're going to play out another 1, 2, 3 units, 4, 5, 6, so we'll have 8 cards. Yeah, we'll get it almost every other turn. We should be able to stack it up quite nicely. Alternatively, if we put the Rector Flicker plus the Shattered Shell down... Or sorry, the we put the Thorned Hollow plus the Shattered Shell down. The Thorned Hollow will do... We can get a lot of spikes. We can get a lot of spikes. And that might put us over the edge for later on. We can get a lot of regen on it too. So I am going to switch it up. This might be risky, but I feel like... How many spikes do we need? The boss does... boss has 550 health. So... with enough spikes, we could probably get to the point where we're doing something like... I would say 3... it should be quite easy, actually, for us to get all the way to 50 spikes. Because we'll get at least 2 per turn. So 6 per turn if we do 10 turns. It's not 10 turns, it's less than that. But I think we'll even get more than the 60 damage per hit. And he's only going to be doing 13 damage, plus we'll have regen. I think it's going to be the better route here. Plus we only have to survive 8 hits in order to start actually dealing damage back to him. So we're going to do it like this. I even think, as weird as it sounds, I think we can actually put enough burnout on him that it's worth getting the heal triggers for extra spikes. The only risk is next turn. It's a 3 out of... Yeah, let's not risk it. Let's just keep the Rector Flicker alive. He is still our backup. So now we want the Animus here. We can put the Train Steward up top. We again, even though it reduces a little bit, it's still better. And already we're at 18. We can just play this to kill that. That's fine. And then, yeah, and then these two are enough to kill anything that makes it past the first floor. We're just going to continue to stack regen. And now I wonder if it makes sense to switch over. We'll get Whiplash next turn. That'll be 6 burnout. And then we just don't play the stealth. We're okay if Rector Flicker dies. It's just so many spikes. If we can get to 8. If we can get to 8 and he has 60 damage, or 60, let's see, he's going to be at 30 spikes now, Plus he's going to add another 3 at the end of the turn. This is another 6 spikes right now. We can easily get to 50. That's 100 damage per hit. We only have to survive for 5 hits. Yeah, we're going to be fine. So we do this. We make sure that you have plenty of burnout. And we just keep stacking regen and health. We can put stealth here. It doesn't really matter. We definitely don't want to stealth on the bottom, though. But we're already at 45 spikes. And we're adding a whole lot more. 66 spikes. The spikes do 132 damage per hit. This guy will not know what hit him. Yeah, this is insane. So very, very easily, we can stack up to 81 spikes. Now, it's not going to be great for... Ooh, Pyre Wall. That's okay. Just protects us in case. I don't think we need any of this. I mean, Votavary is interesting because you can use it as a way to generate coins from the Harvest Tycoon, or Wickless Tycoon, but I don't think it's worth clogging our deck with him. Restoring Retreat is interesting. It allows us to fully stack a single floor. That seems okay, actually. Just making it more and more likely that we're not going to lose the fights. I don't think we need any more unit upgrades, so let's go this route. We will... Forgotten Coins. We can get rid of a Train Steward. We can get rid of this Memories of the Melted. And then, what do we want to duplicate? I mean, Engulfed in Smoke is an obvious one. Another would be... maybe a second Animus of Speed with Multi-Strike. We could also do one of our regen spells. So like adding another Wildwood Sap. Restoring Retreat. I actually think the Animus is a pretty good... mostly thinking about for Fel and for the Fel fight and for the Seraph fight. But I don't think there's any way we're going to be able to kill either of them before they reach the bottom. I think then maybe Restoring Retreat to make it easier to... No, we're gonna get enough. Let's go with the Wildwood Sap. We play it, it gets out of the deck, it adds some regen. So the ideal setup here is we do Wickless Tycoon. No, hold on. Let me think about this. We do Rector Flicker, Shattered Shell, Animus of Speed, and then we just add regen for now. We might have an issue killing this Clipped Guardian. I mean, now we're fine, but this Clipped Guardian, he will, depending on if he continues to get raged, I think we actually do it like this. This gives us a little bit more time to hopefully prep this floor, that he gets enough spikes to do some legitimate damage here. And I think we need to keep the Rector Flicker nice and frosty. But I will add this to try to burn through the statue and actually be able to do direct damage to the unit there. Yeah, he got raged again. Restoration Detonation for sure helps. Although, that's 50 damage. I think if we Wildwood Sap first, and then Restoration Detonation, and then Restore, that is enough to kill him. And we have enough health here that we're not really at risk. We can even engulf in smoke to avoid the AoE damage. So that ended up working out really well. I was worried that we were going to take some pyre damage, but we managed to pull it together. Here, it's enough to do one. It was not enough to do one because these guys hit first. But again, under the same principle as before, we can just continue to keep stacking. You know what? Let's stack on you a little bit. You should have enough regen to last for a long time, and we continue to stack engulfed in smoke. And let's just continue to stack here. You know, I'm almost thinking, what if we bring this guy back down? He gains 10 health, but he takes a lot more damage. 50. Does he take more damage? He takes another 14 damage. I don't know. I don't know if it's better. This is 60 damage here. Let's do it. And then we can just add more there. He takes the same 14 damage he did before. Again. I think it's fine. Let's Purifying Cleanse, Purifying Cleanse, Purifying Cleanse, Wicklash, and then let's just continue to stack up your spikes. And now he has enough spikes now that this guy, even though he's going to do a lot of damage, is going to die right away. So we can Engulfed in Smoke again, Awake, Restore, Restore. We can do this twice just to increase your spikes. And that should be Fell. Adding more restores just barely gets you outside of kill range. But hoo boy, Cycle of Life. Cycle of Life changes a lot. Let's get more draw. With Cycle of Life, if we can double stack it, that's 10 spikes per application, 20 spike damage. The question is that going to be better than buying a relic? I think that's a clear yes. So ideally we get double stack here. We got it. And not only, you know, the one part, right, is the double stack. The other part is just the fact that we can, let's get one of these to do extra damage. The other part is that we get all the extra health, and the extra health cannot be taken away by Seraph the Chaste. So I think we're in a really good position here. We're going to have a massive Rector Flicker with all kinds of burnout stacked up. Can we handle non-boss units healing is a good question. We have to go for it. How do we do this? We would need 80 spikes. So you're going to do 100... Actually, no, we're fine. At least at the beginning, we're fine. Later on, it's going to be touchy. But let's start with this. We put out the Animus of Speed. Do we put the Harvest Tycoon here? I think we assume that we're going to be able to drop down our other unit. And this helps to make sure not too much can escape the floor. So with that, let's increase your burnout, give you some regen. I actually don't want to play this right away. I'd want to save it for when it's really absolutely necessary for us. Here's where it starts to get a little bit touchy. Restoration Detonation saves us. Getting Cycle of Life is really good. Then we put out both of these gentlemen. And now, I think we just keep stacking you up. Yeah, we're in good shape. Then we can bring both of these guys down. I don't know if that's going to be enough to kill if there are 2 of them in a row. But so far we haven't had to deal with that. So now we descend. I think we for sure descend you first. We aren't going to do Engulfed in Smoke. That is absolutely something we want to avoid. I almost think we don't necessarily want... You know what? We can Restoration Detonation you once we bring you down. And we just don't regen you. I'm just thinking that we might need that burst of damage at some point. And I'm a little bit nervous how we're able to get it. But if we can bring him down and then use it... Okay, here we're still fine. So we bring you down, we Cycle of Life. That gives you now 40 damage worth of spikes. And then we just stack everything here. I think after this, are we already on Respite? No, we're still not. But this is why we saved this, exactly for this moment. To guarantee that it was going to die. Then we just stack you. Full of HP. We leave 10 HP on our Thorned Hollow for a potential need to Restoration Detonation. But I think we are in good shape for the boss here. We have plenty of burnout. We have plenty of regen. We have all the spikes. And we are taking 4 damage. We can even do a quick burst on you if we want. Not that it's necessary. In fact, it was a negative in the end. But, yeah. Seems okay. And I do not see, at least currently, a way for us to get an early kill. We don't need any of this. And we don't need any of this. So we can take the coins, use it to try to buff up our end score. Otherwise, I think we're looking really good right here. Now the question is, do we want to upgrade spells even further? Don't necessarily think so. We could just take the coins, see if there is, I don't know, a last upgrade we want to put onto the Thorned Hollow. I don't know what that would be. Check for relics. At least the coins up our score. Is there any relics that just... Nah, none of this... I mean, Priority's Cloak is something, but none of this really changes the game for us. Sure, add more health is fine. Now, ideally, what we want to do is actually set up with a Thorned Hollow on the bottom floor to stack up the spikes. He'll stack up spikes much, much better. Which is going to be the main problem here, is getting enough spikes by the time that Seraph rolls around. Luckily, we get a setup that works for us. So then if we do Thorned Hollow, we put the Shattered Shell behind him. We can already put a huge amount of burst damage on that front unit. We put out the Rector Flicker. We're going to bring him down later. And then we just start stacking reach. Oh yeah, he's dead. So now we're in good shape. He is going to start removing the regen and spikes, but I have the feeling that we're going to be able to do enough even without. So now we can put you guys here. We got the squad. We can burst you down with... Oh, it's so close. Part of me is like, this is enough. The issue is going to be, we need to be able to drop down the Rector Flicker to get a big unit, and there we got him. So I think we're okay here. We dropped the Rector Flicker down. We start healing you again to try to buff you up. You're going to be able to kill any incidental units that somehow show up on the floor. Do we guarantee Purifying Cleanse? Yeah, but we need to keep the Rector Flicker up, so we'll continue to stack onto him. So we already got in one turn up to 37 spikes. And half of the cleanses are going to show up on this floor here. What do we think? I think we drop down you, and we'll drop down the Animus of Speed right there at the end. How are we gonna do this? I mean, it's fine because we end up with more than enough, and honestly, we don't need any Ember. Most of our things cost 0. Oh, did I miss something there? Well, I'm not going to complain. I'm not 100% sure how that worked out. I kind of expected that we were going to have bigger problems, but ended up being okay. You guys have some damage on you, but it's not a big deal. Awake. Now you are in a little bit of a tough spot. This does... Let's see here. Is it just better to add your spikes? Probably. And we don't need to engulf in smoke. So that does reduce our spikes quite a lot, but then we can just generate them back as fast as we can. Yeah, I think there is almost no chance that that we lose this fight. Or even that we are at risk of losing even this front Thorned Hollow. But we'll see. I mean, this is a lot of damage, and it's only going to get more as our Shattered Shell increases, as we bring the Animus of Speed back down to the same floor. Wicklash. And continue to restore. And we're on the final wave. Should be dead. Can we keep you from doing any damage? No, you're going to do some damage, but we can massively increase here. Even we could stealth if we wanted to save some damage. So sure, why not? Really good. I maybe there is a way to get an early kill onto onto Seraph. I'm not convinced unless we totally missed a draft unit that just changes the game for us. I think it's about as good a score as you can get. I don't think we took a single instance of pyre damage the entire run. And I think we got early kills onto every boss, or at least first floor kills. Let's check it out. Let's just do a quick recap. 3 turn, 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 3 turn. Took every trial, took all the 3 turns, did not get a single instance of pyre damage, and we had a pretty healthy amount of coins at the end. That's a pretty good setup. Unless someone is able to find a setup which does early kills onto any either Daedalus, Fel, or Seraph, I think we're locked in for top 5. That was a good run. I really enjoyed that. So with that, I guess we can go check and see if somebody submitted another score in the meantime. Yeah, we are the top score. If we look at some of the others, I would guess that they're fairly similar. Yeah. Basically, he took Awoken Hollow instead of Thorned Hollow. He did get Big Sludge. Big Sludge is good. Big Sludge may be a way that you could get enough damage. It'd still be hard, but it's still... Yeah, this seems basically the same as us. He has a lot more cards than us. And he got the 3 turn, 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 3 turn. His difference is just the coins. Like, it's almost entirely in the coins there. So yeah. Excellent. then yeah, this has been Nate. You can also call me Nathan. Please never call me Nathaniel, and I will see you in the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video and want to see more of this kind of content, click that like button, subscribe, comment below, and check out my other videos. This has been Nate. You can also call me Nathan, but please never call me Nathaniel, and I will see you in the next video.